and welcome to part 2 of our Women in Valo Roundtable, where we discuss the current state of diversity in the Valorant scene. I'm your host, Aryanna Epperson, today, joined with...
Hi, I'm ReyRey. I am a Valorant shoutcaster.
Hi, I'm Vanille. I'm the voice of Neon. Alexy, I'm a pro player.
I'm KrisRey and I'm a streamer.
I'm Ian and I'm a cosplayer and game streamer.
And I'm so happy to be joined again with these girlies. We talked about so much in our first part of the podcast, but now we're going to get into the nitty gritty. Now, I personally, when it comes to Valorant, love all the agents. You know, Killjoy's my favorite, if that wasn't obvious. And I think what's so cool about it is that there is such a diverse range or of agent pool in Valorant. What's it like for you knowing that you would be representing the Filipino agent in Valorant?
It was a mixture of emotions. It was a lot of excitement, of course. It was a lot of pride, but also it was very anxiety inducing. So when I got this, I couldn't talk about it for months.
Yeah.
A really long period of months. But then the funny thing is, when I was getting close to it, the month before, I started dreading it. Because then it was settling in. It was dawning on me oh, people are going to hear this now. And they're going to know this now. So I felt all that pressure for it to sound like the way that people expect and want it to sound. So it was a lot of pressure for me.
Do you guys think that she achieved, a good
yeah,
representation of Filipinos? I mean, were any of you guys included in the early access press kind of thing for Neon? Yeah. Were you?
Cool. No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, let me talk you through it, because it was this really cool thing. Well, actually, the game designers and the people who behind Neon who developed the skills and obviously the character showed us the model of how she looked, the character design. But the only thing we didn't get to hear, correct me if I'm wrong, was her voice.
Really?
Right? It was just a skill showcase, right?
Cool.
I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember I was in Boracay at the time.
Really?
And I was like, I have to be here for the early access of Neon. I'm so excited to see her. I didn't go out to the beach that day because I wanted to attend the press. But I think it's so cool because I felt like we were all waiting for a Filipina agent to come out. What do you think of the current state of the diversity of the agent pool? Do you think it's a good mix? It's not.
Yeah, I think it. Getting on the perspective of being a caster,
Mm-hmm.
I love how diverse it is. One day there's just something new about a certain agent, right? But seeing Neon represent all of us, and it is so accurate, right? The art and everything. She has her very aesthetic pagdating sa mga Pinoy, and it's just so cool. So I think yun yung maganda. But aside from that, with the agent that we have right now, they don't repeat almost everything, right? And it's hard to actually create a new one and be like the others. So yeah, I think it brings so much diversity in a way that it actually balances the game. Yeah.
Speaking of balance, I want to draw attention to how it seems like the number of female presenting agents is very close to the number of male presenting agents. And I just remember, it makes me think of how far we've come in gaming and the gender of the characters. Because when I was playing fighting games, especially with giant rosters, there would always this is the section for all the male characters, and then these are the female characters. There's just a few of them. Sometimes you'll play a game where you could only choose from one or two female characters. So it's really cool to me that now we have all of these
I think the representation is really great because it's you have a wide selection of female characters who are all very different. You'll have some that are maybe not your stereotypical girly girl, gamer girl character, we are seeing so much strong women in games. Sky's got hella muscles that she looks so cool. And that's not typically feminine, right? To be muscular and stuff. But someone who likes going to the gym, I'm sure it's just that's me. I look like her.
Very relatable. And I want to add lang din that this agent, if you guys take a look at them, yung mga mahirap i-nerf are the female agents like Jet, like Sky. They had to like nerf it because they're just too good, and even Killjoy, right? They're just too powerful. So it's just so happy that they also break like a lot of stereotypes, and I love that everyone is just so accepting of these characters, and they even use it, and they're even a big fan of it. Like everyone cosplays it, right?
Yeah, and I'm sure like let's say as a cosplayer, right? You've done Sky, Reina, and Viper, who are all from like different parts of the world. Like, did you feel like a connection to their cultures as you got to learn about the character, dress up as them?
I actually researched more. When I first cosplayed Reina, I watched all the lores.
Yeah.
I tried to connect how dark and fierce she was. So it always like me connecting to that character and knowing what's the background, so you can actually portray her as her. And when you do photo shoots, you can do the expressions like accurately.
I mean, like she is mothering, you were mothering. I think you did a great job like with that. How about like for you? Like, do you tend to go for more female agents, or does it like not matter to you?
It doesn't really matter to me, which is why I think I love Valorant, because it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl or whatever, where you come from, you play whatever you want to play and you enjoy it. And I mainly play smokes, so it ranges from Viper to Omen to Prim. And you're just focusing more on the role that they do and how they can help your team. And that's ultimately how we should all be, right?
And I think for Alexy, like more on your level is outside of just obviously the agent pool, you're literally a woman in esports, you know, in such a male dominated community. What is it like having like a tournament that's just for women?
I think it's a very nice feeling also that you can learn about other genders as well, like non-binaries, transgender. So you're gonna be aware on the knowledge, like how is it gonna be like an LGBT playing in this game? This is the future.
Yes.
Women are the future. We
Yeah.
will dominate the scene, and that's so true. But do you have any ways that you try to promote inclusivity, like through your platform? And if so, like how have you done it? Because like especially for you, like maybe I'm just used to growing up with a bunch of like male shoutcasters, but to hear like women, like girl.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so happy that I think Philippines is one of the regions who has a lot of female talents. Like, I'll mention them: Mika Fabs, Laika, Honey Glaze, Ayor, Rebby, and me, and Ling, and the other guys out there. That it used to be only just one, but now it has. We've seen so much growth. And before, when I started, there were others who were like complaining, right? There are like, we wanted male shoutcasters, but looking at it now, it became so accepting that girls can actually analyze a game, right? It's not like it's a bad thing. Hindi naman siya masama. Parang I'm happy naman na at first people were just like not used to it. Pero you can prove kaya naman ng lahat. Kaya ko din, 'di ba? Because in my personal experience, I had someone who told me after a shoutcast, this is a different game, that I can't cast because my voice is too girly. So hurt me, but yeah, I know,
Too girly. What?
too girly. So I told myself that there are some things that you can't accept, right? And that one really parang inspired me that being a shoutcaster in a male dominated industry is really a big pride for me, and I will inspire other women to actually enter the scene because we have like Mika Fabs in the global stage, and I'm so happy about it.
I love it. There are so many like wonderful women who are in like the esports scene, and I'm sure they're like so inspiring. Like especially when EG won champions, and to see Potter up on stage, it's like
Yeah.
a woman made that happen.
Yeah.
And obviously credits to the players, but
Yeah.
she's like the brain behind those things. To see Mika Fabs in VCT right now, even the CEO of Oasis Gaming, woman. We love to see women win. But for you guys, like, how do you feel that you can really like promote inclusivity in your community when it comes to Valorant?
I feel like if I answered, I'm just gonna be regurgitating stuff I've already said.
It's okay. Whatever you feel, because like maybe coming from like I think a lot of people perceive the Philippines as someone who cannot reach the global level of talent. It's just like, oh, we're a third world country or whatever. Oh, yeah. But you have just like proven that wrong. We've all been on like global stages to some extent, and how's that been?
Okay, I have something to say now.
Yes, let us know. Okay, please do share.
Okay, so before I was cast in Riot Games' Valorant, their video games, I and a lot of voice actors thought that you can't do that from all the way here in the Philippines, right? I personally thought, oh, I would have to like immigrate into the US to get a chance at being in these like big video games. So I think because Riot actually got someone who was living in the Philippines that we thought was impossible, I think that made other people think that, oh, maybe we can do that one day too, because it's not impossible after all. It's been done. Like the door is open now.
Yeah, you did it. Look at us. All right, like if you guys didn't know, actually under half of the Valorant player base is women. That is typically high compared to other FPS games. What do you think it is about it that draws more women into playing the game?
The game is really easy to play, friendly for female attraction. Like for example, like kunwari ako, I want cute games. I think that's one of the first thing that women wants to see, like a female character. Yeah. I want a female character. No, I don't want anything than a cute female character. I see Jet. I'm gonna play Valorant.
Yeah. Girl, the first time I played Valorant, I did not know what the skills were, and I was like, I'm gonna pick the cute girl. I'm picking Jet. And I was like, you're like smoke, and I'm like, it's a smoke. I was trying to play the cute girl.
Sage,
Sage,
like
a baddie. I was like, okay, Sage.
Yeah. So I think Valorant promotes inclusivity, especially for female characters, by putting a female character on the release day. Yeah. Not males, but pagkalaro mo, pagkabukas mo, may female character again. So,
yeah, multiple. And there are so many female agents right now.
I have a good point about the characters looking cute. Because I feel like before, there was this like, there's this inclination that a female character in the like game primarily played by boys is gonna look, the stereotypical like
I know what you mean.
Female character that appeals to boys.
Quite sexualized, or in what they wear is
typical like stern stoic type. So, but what's so bad about having like a cute female character, right? So
all right, now I guess to just like more wrap up this talk about diversity, if you could maybe give your younger self advice, knowing what you know now. So I guess especially as a woman, because it's like being a woman in this scene was just something that was like unheard of, impossible. There's like no way. And we've obviously surpassed all those things. So if you could give advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Growing up in a traditional family, right? That there's just a lot of stereotypical images with being a woman. All I can say is I just love women empowerment, women empowering women in esports. And at the end of the day, who will help us, right? Just all women, di ba? So, ang mabibigay ko sa advice sa younger self ko right now is I'm happy that you will reach your dreams. And advice to my younger self is that always help your co-females, whatever it is. We will help each other at the end of the day, right? Yeah.
Keep being weird, keep being a geek. Because when I was a kid, it wasn't cool to play video games. You were the weird, geeky, nerdy, like loser for playing video games. So, which is not the case anymore. I think it's really cool how that's changed. So that's what I would tell my younger self. Because guess what? In like a few years, it's gonna be cool playing video games.
I think for me, just don't stop being competitive, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I can do more, Like as I grew up, I know I can do more, a lot of things like outside the game also. So yeah.
For me, when I started Valorant, I think it was pretty obvious how frequent the trash talk towards women was. I wish I didn't take it to the heart too much because I feel like it was my first time being exposed to a video game where somebody was blaming me for being a woman. I wish I could just tell myself, these boys don't have any manners. And if a boy talks to you with no manners, they're practically invalid to your life. So honestly, right now I'm at a point where I just shrug it off. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And what? So what? I just wish I started that when I was younger.
Yeah. For me, maybe I would tell my younger self to not take everything too personally, because sometimes life is just gonna be rough. So don't let anyone tell you you're just a woman. Don't let it hurt you.
Yeah, we can do everything men
Yeah.
can do while bleeding. All right. So think about that. Speaking of that, I think that's a great way to wrap up our conversation. Thank you to all these wonderful ladies. We have ReyRey, Vanille, Alexy, Kris, and Ian, and I'm your host, Aryanna. We'll see you in part 3 of our women's roundtable here, all about Valorant. Our part 3 will actually be about women, more women, and sharing some amazing stories. I love women.
We
too.
love women.
Who run the world, girls?
I love LGBTQ.
And we'll see you in part 3. Bye.
Bye.